Welcome back to the Talkin Chop podcast, brought to you by the folks over at Chief of Staff KC. This week, we're joined by community entrepreneur and owner of 3 Yogurtini franchises and superhero yoga, Isaac Collins. Isaac, welcome back to the Let It Fly studio. I know you've been here before, but it's great to have you here with us this week. How's your week going so far?
It's going pretty good, man. Just working from the comfort and warmth of my own home. So I'm loving it. 2020, right?
Yeah, no kidding. In a nutshell.
I know, man. Well, the Chiefs won a frustrating game over the Dolphins, 33-27 on Sunday, securing their 5th straight AFC West title, and then with the Steelers also losing to the Bills on Sunday night, the Chiefs now hold the number 1 overall seed and pretty much almost have that locked up depending on how these last couple games go. But as we chop it up, we'll talk about a slow offensive start on Monday, Travis Kelce's record-setting season, and our preview for Week 15 against the Saints in New Orleans this weekend. But first, we're bringing you the positions of the week brought to you by Chief of Staff KC, your local trusted talent scouts. We'll bring you the best accounting and finance, HR, ops, and sales, as well as admin and marketing candidates and talent that Kansas City has to offer. Lucas, what do you got for us this week?
Yeah, so we have a really exciting company. I don't want to give away too many details per usual, but it's a conglomeration of marketing, e-commerce, and consumer goods company. They're looking for an accounting manager. Really, you could look at this as like an assistant controller, just with the responsibilities that are entailed with this role. But right now, it's titled accounting manager, 6-figure compensation. But you're going to need 8 to 10 years of experience. So if you're not there yet, don't even call me. We'll talk about other jobs, but this one's unfortunately not for you. You will need the public accounting background and then have transitioned out to more of a corporate accounting role. They want to see both of that, and it doesn't have to be the big 4 firms, right? As long as you just had some sort of public accounting experience, that would suffice. Other than that, though, really fast-growing company with a headquarters on the West Coast, and then they're building out their Kansas City location. So really a lot of vertical growth moving forward and an exciting role.
There you go, man. And on the operations side, I actually have an interesting position to close out the year. I have a general manager for a yoga studio opening up out in Olathe. They're looking for someone that has good sales experience as well as operations experience, just kind of managing the day-to-day of the studio, but also bringing in new members as this franchise opens up at the end of January, early February. So if you're looking to, if health and wellness is a passion of yours, if you're looking to kind of be the face of his studio and
if
take
you put on the COVID-15 or COVID-20.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, reach out to us. That's a cool opportunity we got opening up here this week. But yeah, those are your positions of the week brought to you by Chief of Staff KC. Lucas, take us away, man.
All right, time to talk some shop. Isaac, again, thanks for being here. It's great to meet you. I've heard nothing but great things about what you've done and in your career. I really want to discuss your entrepreneurial story a little bit. That's really where we like to kind of give that first bit. So, would you mind giving us a quick rundown of that career?
Yeah. So I know this is more of a Kansas City-based one, so I'll say that I am from Kansas City. Yeah. Kansas City born, raised in St. Joe, Missouri. Stayed there pretty much my whole life. Actually went to college at Missouri Western, which is in St. Joe. Played football, majored in business, double major, marketing and management. Okay. And so my entrepreneurial story actually starts there because right after college, I dove into and purchased my first business. Well, I did that out of the help of my college.
Sure.
So I graduated 2011. In 2008, they started this 3-way partnership applied learning class where the whole goal was to get graduating seniors and alumni into business right after college instead of just finding a job.
Right.
So
sure, that's great.
I had this dream of owning my own business. Didn't think it would happen until I was like 45, So I was like, sure, I'll check it out. So entered the class, competed to win, wrote a business plan, pitched at the end of the semester, ended up winning.
Nice.
So our benefactor, Stephen Craig, actually helped us get into business at that point. In my year, 3 people got awarded stores. And I started with the Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory store at the age of 22.
I saw that.
Yeah, like no clue what I'm doing. Just kind of got thrusted into it.
Right.
But I'm a firm believer in on-the-job training is the best way to go. So ran that for 4 years till 2016. In 2015, I used some of my profits to come back to Kansas City, and I bought my first Yogurtini.
Okay.
So for a year, I owned both of those, the Rocky Mountain in Iowa, and the Yogurtini here.
Which one would you choose at that time if you had to pick an ice cream?
At the time, I would say I would choose chocolate. I would choose Rocky Mountain.
Okay, all right.
Because I love the operations of it.
Right.
But I loved being here. So if
Sure.
I could have a Rocky Mountain in Kansas City, that would be like a dream come true.
There you
Like
go.
I love sweets.
Yeah, okay. You heard it here first. Maybe that's
Yeah,
sure.
I'm working on something. We'll see. You know.
Sorry to interrupt. Go
No,
ahead.
you're good. You're good. So that was 2016. Ended up selling the business after that, and then 2018 bought a second one, Yogurtini Shoal Creek, up by Liberty.
Yeah.
And 2017, going back a year, I actually started a nonprofit with two partners called Superhero Yoga. We serve and teach trauma-informed yoga to inner city kids during their school day. So right now we're teaching about 800 kids yoga during their school day every single week.
Wow.
It's
That's
really, really
great.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And then this year, I actually got into my third Yogurtini in Overland Park. So my wife and I own 3 now. Yeah,
That's
it's been a
awesome.
lot of fun. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a cool story.
I mean, that leads me into my next part is like 2020 has obviously been a hard year for a lot of people, but man, it seems like you've been kind of dominating. We were talking about before, obviously, you know, revenue across the board is kind of down, but,
Yeah.
you know, in your personal life, you got a new baby on the way. Congratulations.
Man,
Congrats.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And obviously open up a new shop. But then you also got a lot of, you know, stories written about you in news over the summer as well with all the social justice stuff going on. So, you know, tell me about your mindset this year and you know how you've continued to consistently be so successful this year.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. Thank you for the compliments. It's been an interesting year. We all know that. We all know it's been very up and down and whatnot, and everything going on in our world with the pandemic and racial injustice and everything in between. For me, I started off really struggling mentally this year. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I was worried that I was gonna lose my 2 businesses at the time. I
Sheesh.
just found myself in the survival mindset, and I really was stuck there for a while. It wasn't until my wife helped me get out of that where I really had to make a decision. I can sit here and keep complaining about what could potentially happen that had not happened yet, or I could do something about it. And so I went on this mission to make the best of this year. I literally went and DM'd and messaged all of my competitors in Kansas City in the suburbs who were in the frozen yogurt business, and I asked who would want to sell. I was just curious.
Yeah.
And out of the 4 that I messaged, all 4 were interested in having a conversation.
Wow.
3 ended up wanting to sell, and then I narrowed it down to the one that was the best deal.
Right.
And I figured, you know, hey, this year is going to be tough. Might as well make something out of it because, as we know, the best opportunities are literally birthed in the business season of winter. So we went through with it. We closed on, it was an orange leaf frozen yogurt. Closed on it mid-July. Took it over, flipped it, turned it into a Yogurtini, and opened up mid-August. And I got it for a really cheap price.
Phenomenal.
There you go.
Yeah.
You know, I couldn't turn it down. So, yeah, sales are low right now because the pandemic and it's winter. But,
Sure.
you know, next year when everything turns around, it's going to be good.
You're set up. I feel like a lot of the stories we've heard this year, the success stories are these mental switches in the middle of this year where things kind of were looking, you know, dull or mundane. And exactly. And a lot of these entrepreneurs like yourself, I mean, you guys have really kicked it up a notch, and I love to see that, you know.
Right.
Sorry, I'll let you continue.
No, I mean, it really is a mindset, though. Like, I remember, like, I mean, we were down revenue-wise and just business-wise from people not hiring. And I remember talking to my dad. I'm like, man, I'm frustrated. I wish I was doing more. Like, I wish I could do more. And he's like, man, you know, be an entrepreneur. It's all about that mindset. You got to continue to look for opportunities, engage with the community, and meet as many people as possible. So it really is a mindset. So thanks for, you know, a brief look into that mindset.
Thanks for asking.
Yeah, but you and I connected a few weeks back on a Zoom call, just kind of an intro networking call, but we kind of bonded over our shared passion for, you know, giving back to the community and just get involved here in Kansas City. So outside of Superhero Yoga, what are some other ways that you're involved? Or obviously you can expand on that if you like, but what are some other ways that you're involved here in town and trying to create community in Kansas City?
Yeah. So I'll start with the Superhero Yoga. That's something that's been started off just a passion project. Like, you know, this will be fun. I'm a yoga instructor as well. I've been teaching yoga for 4 or 5 years.
There we go. Okay.
And I started at 26. I was like, I love the benefits of yoga. Let's give this to some kids. Because if I could have started this at, 20, 15, 10, 5, this would be very beneficial. So we partnered with the school and took off with it. And now we're in 3 schools, teaching pre-K all the way to 6th grade.
Oh, wow.
So 4 to 10 or something like that.
Changing people's lives, right?
Yeah,
With
you know
that.
what I mean?
Pivotal years of
Yeah,
learning,
sure.
exactly. And so it's been really, really cool. Through Yogurtini, we're continuing to do our partnerships through fundraisers and that kind of stuff. And we're helping these organizations right now put money back in their pockets.
Right.
So if you follow the numbers, for-profit businesses are closing at an exponential rate. Well, nonprofits are as well at about the same rate.
Yep.
So for us to be able to help these organizations put money in their pockets, that's been pretty dope.
Mm-hmm.
But also, everyone's talking about supporting local. So on our social media pages, we're trying to do a good job of talking about these local businesses who are either struggling or just adding a lot of value and just highlighting what they're doing.
Yeah.
So that's kind of been our thing that we're doing this year.
Sure. Oh man, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, you're gonna get to run through some rapid fire questions next.
I love it. Let's go.
So every week we ask a kind of like a football analogy essentially, but it's going to be a recent first down.
Yeah.
So a small success you've had that led to sequential success. We'll ask for a sack, maybe a small setback. You can't use COVID. I want to try to make you think outside the box.
Oh man,
It's been the answer pretty much all year so far.
that's the easy one.
Yeah, I know. So I'm going to throw that one out there this time. And then a Hail Mary, Patrick Mahomes style. And that can be like a lofty goal that you had for this year, which you can elaborate a little bit more on the business transaction, or you can think about a goal for next year that you're looking to obtain.
Sure.
But yeah, we'll start with the first down.
Yeah. Oh man.
I know, putting you on the spot.
And is this for the whole year or just like recent?
Yeah, it could be recent. It could be something that you encountered earlier this year that, now you're kind of reaping the benefits, right? Or something along those lines. So if that helps.
Okay. I guess I'll kind of answer that one and I guess it has a little bit to do with COVID.
Okay.
But I think a good first down that we had for this year, where a lot of people were furloughing employees and that kind of stuff. I think
True.
our big first down and something that we're really happy about is we didn't have to furlough anyone.
That's awesome.
Over 3 locations, we have 42 employees.
Wow.
2 full-time, 40 part-time, and we were able to keep everybody.
Good for you, man. That's
So
great.
for me, that's a big bragging moment.
Oh, yeah.
We were able to do enough to keep people paid,
Right.
especially my 2 full-time managers.
Right.
'Cause I'm literally paying them, and I'm their sole source of income. So yeah, it's been dope.
100%. Good deal.
Yeah.
That's a great first down because that will definitely pay off, moving forward.
Yeah,
right?
and build loyalty too.
They're going to take care of you. What about a sack? Besides COVID?
Besides COVID. I think that business related or personal
It
as
can be
well,
personal,
Yeah,
too.
either however you want to interpret it.
Okay. So a sack, something that was a setback.
Slight setback, and then you were able to overcome it.
Yeah.
Or get back on the horse.
Yeah. With all of the kind of racial injustice stuff that was going on, and this is really weird to share, but it kind of is what it is. I was very vocal in speaking up about things that were going on, just as a Black person, but also a Black business owner. And so from speaking up, there actually was some ramifications to my business for speaking up and saying, this or that, and not saying anything political, just saying, hey, equality and that kind of stuff.
Right.
Got some messages, people saying, hey, now that I know that this business is owned by someone of color, I know where not to spend my money.
That's terrible.
So, and I didn't, put that out there for the whole world to see, but it was one of those things where it was just like, dang, man, that's why we're speaking up and that's why we're fighting.
Exactly.
But the cool thing about that is, and something that has happened is there's been so much support around supporting Black business and supporting local business just in general. So it came around, maybe lost some customers, but it was cool how people have really come around us.
Right.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm buying my next Yogurtini.
Come on,
That's
let's
for
go.
damn sure. So I'll see you soon.
Yeah, let's go.
And then Hail Mary, Patrick Mahomes style, lofty goal for next year, or something maybe you accomplished this year, if you'd like to share, however you'd like to go about it.
Yeah. So I was actually looking over this with my wife, and obviously COVID has ruined some people, depending what business you're in. If you're in Zoom, you're killing it right now.
This is true.
But all the goals I had for 2020 are kind of mixed up, but most of them we've still knocked out.
Nice.
So we're looking at another Yogurtini. I thought it was going to be either in Tiffany Springs or Lee Summit. Those didn't happen, but we got one in Overland Park.
Yeah.
We wanted to buy a house. Took halfway through the year, but we did it. We wanted to get pregnant. We have gotten pregnant, so
There you
that's
go.
been amazing.
Awesome.
So we added another dog into the family. So the family unit is kind of killing it as far as
There
that
you go.
goes.
Sure.
Business-wise, we had goals to reach certain sales. Obviously, we didn't hit that. Our biggest goal that we had was to make the business kind of autonomous, make it turnkey, make it run on its own.
Right.
And through everything that we've been through, we've been able to do that.
Nice.
It's really, really cool. So,
That's great.
you know, right now, since I have a pregnant wife, I'm not going to the stores. I'm working from home only. Well, since we put the work in, I'm able to do that.
Right.
Now I don't have to go in there. So it's really cool that my team's able to
Yeah.
work and function without
Right.
me being in there.
So did COVID give you more time to, I guess, work internally on the business?
Yes.
Okay. There you
Yeah.
go. Nice, man.
Focusing on those
Congrats.
systems. You know, we all have, as entrepreneurs, have this ongoing to-do list.
Oh, yeah.
You have a section of it that you feel like you're just never going to hit, but it stays there. I actually dipped into that list.
There you go.
And it kind of,
Hey.
you know, allowed me to
Yeah.
have the business be where it's at now. So
Yeah. Well, congrats on an amazing 2020, Isaac.
thank you.
I mean, it's really great to hear not only your story, but you know, thanks for also being a vocal leader as well. Not only with the Black entrepreneur community, but just in Kansas City in general as well. So yeah, if you guys want to pick up some gift cards for Christmas,
There you go.
you know where to go. And again, thanks for supporting local as well, because we do as well. So.
appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, but let's chop it up. Let's chop it up. So after a very slow first quarter and 3 interceptions from Mr. Mahomes, the Chiefs put up 30 straight points to take down the Dolphins on Sunday. Again, taking home their AFC West title for the 5th straight year. Isaac, we always kind of give our guests the first take when it comes to these games. So what were your big thoughts? Time's yours.
Yeah, sure. So I loved watching the game just in general, and I'll get to midway through the game what happened to me. But watching the beginning of it, I was a little shocked. You know, being a lifelong Kansas City fan, there's always a little bit of like skepticism in it.
It still creeps a little bit, right?
It does.
Back there. And
You know what I mean? But since we've gotten Mahomes and he's been starting, everything has changed.
Correct.
But if you've been a Chiefs fan for a long time, you know that for years and years they have excited us and then they let us down. So I still have that in there. But I noticed that is fading, where if we are down, I'm like, we got Mahomes.
Right.
We're good, you know?
we found a way to lock it away in like
Yeah.
a compartment. We
Yeah,
compartmentalize.
exactly. So I'm watching the game, and I love the fact that, I mean, if we want to call it what we called it, they didn't play well. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we put up 30 straight points, but if we're looking at the efficiency that we're going to need at the end of the season, the last couple games have scared me a little bit. We need to be more efficient. We need to get our fundamentals going, that kind of stuff. And so I don't know if we can have these games where we get down a lot and then come back when we're potentially have to pay like a Green Bay or something like that.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is that we still have a Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
We still have a Travis Kelce and a Hill where we can do that kind of stuff. So it was cool to see. And like midway through the game, I was kind of working on some other stuff, and I actually fell asleep. Fell asleep when we were down, and I woke up and we were up 30-10. And I'm like, how long was I asleep? My wife's like, you weren't asleep long. And it's crazy because as we saw at the end of the year last year, we can do that. We can put up points at a rapid speed, you know? And so that all of my fears and my worries, that kind of like sweeps it away. But I would love to see us be a little more efficient. Mahomes be a little more tight with his throws. He's getting a little I'll say lackadaisical with his footwork.
Right.
You know, me playing football and actually played quarterback as well. He's so creative with what he does. The footwork, I think, is starting to lack a little bit, and he's starting to. He's missing some passes, some easy.
He knows
ones.
he can get away with
He
some of that,
can.
right? Because of just the raw talent.
Yeah.
But I mean, criticism's due where it's due, right?
Yes.
Like, Mahomes doesn't get a lot of it, but you know, 3
Yeah.
interceptions, that's a lot.
Yeah,
the
and some
wild-
were tips. You know,
and the
but
wild thing about the interceptions, right? Because we do have that skeptical side of our mind, being Chiefs fans for so long. But I was more frustrated that he was maybe losing the MVP than like was worried about us losing the game.
Yeah,
Which is crazy to think that our mentality has switched so much from that. It's like, okay, well, come on, Mahomes, we're going to score next drive, right? So it was just really unique to see that. And hopefully he can start making some more efficient passes.
Yeah.
You know?
So it goes from a mindset of like, we're ahead, but they're probably going to find some way to trick it off and we're going to lose, to we're down, but we're fine. We're good.
Yeah, I mean,
You know what
well,
I mean?
I
It's really cool.
There's
It's
a
really
stat
cool.
here that's like, so since the start of 2019, anytime we're down by 10 points, we have a win-loss record of 8-1, which is like an 88% winning percentage.
Yeah.
The rest of the league has like a 16% winning percentage.
Yeah,
It's insane. So again, Mahomes said he has a love-hate relationship with Hard Rock Stadium.
Yeah.
where every time they go, they get a hat.
Because
but,
the
he may
Super
not
Bowl
play
last
that
year,
well.
right? Yeah, 2 picks.
Exactly.
So, yeah, but what do you think about Travis Kelce's season so far?
I think that what he's doing right now is insane.
It is.
You know what I mean? Like, to be a tight end who is not only just balling out of his mind, but leading the league in receiving yards. That's never been done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Love to see that.
He's like this silent assassin, right?
Yeah.
Like I feel like people don't even realize or haven't realized the pace that he's kept up this entire year, let alone the 4 previous years of 1,000-yard seasons.
Yeah.
And now it's like, boom, here's all the data, here's all the information right in your face, and people still don't really believe it.
Yeah.
Like,
It is pretty quiet.
we may be watching the greatest tight end of all time,
Right.
and people need to respect that.
But I mean, you look
I
at
agree
the
with you.
explosiveness of someone like a DK Metcalf or Stephon Diggs, or even Tyreek Hill, who are, like the 3, guys after him. And, you get the big plays, right? But Travis Kelce, it's those 8 receptions each game where he's like sliding and making space in zone coverage, and he'll get you those 20 yards. And those he leads the league in first down catches as well. So like obviously go to, but man,
Him and Pat are playing chess out there.
They really
Not
are,
checkers,
though.
not
I mean,
checkers.
if you look at it, they're literally connected by a mental wavelength. Like,
Yes.
like Kelsey's watching Mahomes, and he just goes where he needs him.
They've
You know what I
spoke
mean?
about that in interviews too, right? Where they're like, I can't really explain it, but Pat and I are like just mentally locked up.
Yeah.
We're in sync.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even, like during that Texans comeback last year in the playoffs, where I guess Mahomes like toe dragged through that ball, and Kelsey caught it down there. He's like, dude, how do you even know I was gonna be there? Like that's crazy. So again, they got that mental wavelength.
It doesn't
It's
make
nuts.
sense, but I love that we have it.
Well, I guess looking ahead, I did want to ask you about fantasy. You said you didn't play, but there's a reason why.
Yeah. So with it's just how my entrepreneurial brain works.
Yeah.
Before I was an entrepreneur, I stopped playing, and because my ADHD brain works in a way where I get very obsessive on things, and so I played all through college and whatnot, and I put way too much time in it. Like most of us do, but for me, like I just dive into things, and I dive into my fantasy because I want to win, and so it just honestly took up way too much time. Where it was it was going into my senior year and whatnot, and I was like, I just can't do it.
Yeah.
Just the amount of work, and honestly, it was basketball that I was like, I can't do that again.
Yeah.
Because with football, there's 16 games, there's playoffs, Super Bowl. With basketball, you have a game every night.
Yeah.
You know what
That's
I mean?
crazy.
And
That
so
can be taxing. Yeah.
I'm on my phone all the time looking at scores, and I'm moving my guys around, and to an obsessive level.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so I was like, I can't do this
I
anymore.
feel that.
Makes
I feel
sense.
that. Yeah, I've got a 5 team, so.
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna
I'm
have
excited to hear about your
Yeah,
guys'
I'm gonna
teams.
have to,
Oh, man.
reconsider that next year. for
Yeah.
sure.
I'm
I-
excited to
I
hear what
couldn't-
you guys have going on then.
I couldn't do 5. This guy's crazy. I think you do 4 personal, and then you manage like a family league or something.
Yeah, one of my girlfriends from college, I managed her team for.
Sure.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
she's-
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, it was a rough week for me. Oh my god, I feel like I'm one of the only Christian McCaffrey owners this year who has made it to the playoffs. I'll brag on myself there, but I'm out.
Oh, dang.
I
Yeah.
lost this week by 1 point. To sum it
One
all,
point,
1 point, and all was it Tyler Bass or T Bass for the Buffalo Bills? All he had to do, they played who'd they just beat? The
Steelers,
Steelers.
yeah.
And they were on that last drive, and the Steelers didn't have an extra timeout. If the Steelers had an extra timeout, they would have stopped the clock, and the Bills would have just kicked the field goal. Instead, the Bills were able to kneel the ball and run the timeout. That field goal would have made me win and move next to the round, or next round in playoffs. So that one's done. I'll be playing consolation matches, but won't be getting any money out of it. And
Man.
that was my run it back season. I have a trophy at home and everything. So now every time I look at it, I'm like, I don't get to keep you next year. So I'll be taking you back. And then my other league, I'm playing for third place this week. But yeah, got kicked out of that one too. So
Man.
hopefully you're having a little bit better luck
Yeah,
than me,
so
man.
I'm still alive in 3 of my leagues. 2 of my personal ones, so I'm 2 of the 4 I'm still in. And then the league I'm running for my friend is actually the best one of them all, which sucks. Like I have Kyler, Tyreek, and Travis who have been just carrying me.
Wow.
And
Who did
AJ
you
Brown.
draft? Who are you playing against?
I mean, it's a 10-person league. I mean, it's
Hey,
it's a
all
pretty
right.
good league, but
All
yeah, I don't know. So, yeah, the one's a family league that doesn't have any money, so I'm only in 1 money league. So hopefully we'll
Do you
see.
feel pretty good about that one?
Yeah, I'm playing the number 1 seed, so we'll see. But
Man.
Good luck.
I'm projected to beat him. I have a good matchups this week. So Lamar Jackson coming out of the woodwork, last night definitely helped.
Oh my
but
gosh,
hopefully
crazy
he
game.
can continue
was.
because I've been starting Justin Herbert over him, but now I think I'm gonna go back to Lamar.
He's why I missed out in one of the leagues. He put me like a whopping 6 points or something like a couple weeks ago. He's
Yeah.
a hell of a player,
That-
but
I
watching
want to
that
see
Browns
him.
game-
I want to see him go all out. I feel like the league is better when his name is being
Yeah,
talked about
100%.
more. I really hope that he starts to pick it up. Like he
Yeah,
was
like
playing
watching
last
that
year.
Browns game was the first time this season I've been like, that's the Lamar we knew last year. Like he came back after being, everyone thought he went to
he's the
go to the bathroom. We're still
Pulled the
jury's
Paul
still out
Pierce.
on that
Yeah,
one, but
exactly.
yeah, he comes back and throws a 44-yard touchdown right after that. And
Yeah.
like to your point of the Chiefs, like always having that heartbreak, like. That's the Browns.
Yeah.
Like having just
true.
being right
Yeah.
there, you're getting so good, and you still get heartbroken like that. Yeah.
They got to hang their heads high, right? Or keep their heads
Yeah.
high because they have a good nucleus and a good team they're building
Yeah.
around. So
Yeah.
we'll be playing them for years to come.
Yeah.
It's a cool year where you have some of these teams that have not been good in a long time are actually getting good, and then the teams too that are usually pretty. Some of the teams that are usually pretty good, like Cowboys, Patriots, that aren't. It's like, oh man, this is weird.
Yeah.
2020 keeps getting weirder.
I know, man.
does.
To see the Bills at number 3 in the power rankings is crazy.
What
to
I
me.
love seeing these young QBs take over the league. Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes. I mean, list goes
Baker
on.
Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
Maybe Drew Lock can turn it on a little bit more. I mean, it'll be fun, and exciting years to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, week 15, it's the biggest matchup I've been looking forward to all year. And the one game I've been actually worried about, but we still don't know if Drew Brees is going to be back for this one.
Yeah.
I don't really think he will be. He wasn't available against the Eagles, and they just came off a really terrible loss. Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Props to you, man. But Isaac, what are your thoughts on this Saints game coming up?
So I'm going to go at it as if they're not going to get Drew Brees back. The Chiefs have this thing, and I do think it's, they're trying to figure out, what's going on with the Chiefs? I do think that the Chiefs are really bored. I do think that we're so good to the point where they're just kind of like hanging out, and then when they need the points, they turn it on and we get it.
Playing
And
with
so
their food a little bit.
Yeah. And I get it. So I think the game's going to be close. I think it's going to be a little more of a high-scoring game. I think that there's no way in heck that the Saints are going to beat the Chiefs. Just objectively, they just don't have the weapons. They really don't. Our offense is too high-powered. Our defense kind of sporadic here or there, but they're going to play strong enough. So I'm taking, obviously, the Chiefs on this one.
Yeah, I would say, because I got to thinking about it a little bit more for, like, I write these keys to victory, just 3 little quick points.
Yeah.
Taysom Hill, right? And he's a great quarterback with his feet and making things happen. But if you force him, it's like point number 1 would be force him to be a pocket passer, force him to be a pocket QB. He doesn't have a ton of success when you neutralize his feet and getting outside the pocket. So I think that's going to be the key, number 1. Number 2 is, as you had mentioned, they don't have all the playmakers. They have a couple, right? They have Michael Thomas and like Alvin Kamara, but they don't have. If Drew Brees is not at the helm, it's like, I don't know. They're just not as explosive.
Yeah. I mean, Jared Cooks is good, and Emmanuel Sanders is good, but they're not the Chiefs' weapons.
Well, yeah, exactly. And then so you shut down Michael and you shut down Alvin, and you can do that by neutralizing Taysom Hill. So if you do those 2 things, I think we're going to be in for a great W. And then just lastly, play Chiefs football. Keep our eyes on that number 1 seed. Don't play with your food. It's like we've secured this number 1 seed like we thought we were. You and I discussed and felt very confident 2 weeks ago that we would get there. But let's not throw it away. So continue operating in all 3 facets of the game.
Yeah, we can lock up that number 1 seed with 2 victories as long as one of those victories is the Chargers at the end of the year. So, I mean, we can't afford to lose one, but I would rather not.
Yeah.
15-1 sounds
Yeah.
pretty
Sounds
nice.
really good.
Yeah,
Real
I
nice.
predicted 14-2 at the beginning of the year, so yeah, hopefully I'm wrong. But moving on to score predictions. So last week, Malachi, shout out to you. He's my favorite part of our own podcast. It's
Yeah,
great.
he's great.
Shout out to you. Hope you're feeling better, man. He took a little tumble, broke his arm, but he's got a sweet sling. So thanks, Tiffany. But he predicted 38-17. Bryce, you were 27-14. Casey was closest with 35-24. The guests now took the lead over you, man. They're at 130 or 163 overall.
Yeah.
Lucas, you had 38-21, now 180. And I'm rounding out the pack. I took 31-17. I'm now 215 overall. I don't think I have much room to make.
So for our fantasy league, we make the loser have to sit in a Waffle House for 24 hours.
Eat pancakes.
I think that's going to be you, man.
I don't know.
Just kidding.
Yeah. Well,
Man.
we'll have to come up with a punishment because
it'll be
I'm going to be the one doing it. But yeah, Isaac, so you think it's going to be high scoring this time?
I do.
What are your predictions here?
I think it's going to be 35-31.
I like that.
I like
Yeah.
that score. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's close, and I think we'll pull it out in the fourth quarter, maybe, right? Is that when we're going to get ahead, or are we going to be behind? I'm curious. Your thoughts?
I think we'll be ahead, and I think that I don't think we're going to be behind. I really don't. But I think that we're going to pump the brakes whenever
Right.
we're ahead.
Classic.
Like
Yeah.
we do.
Yeah,
You know
that's
what I mean?
true.
And they're going to come back like against, the Buccaneers kind of happened as well.
Or even
like
last week, too.
Yeah.
The Dolphins started coming back at the end. It was
Yeah.
a 7-point game.
Yeah.
Chiefs are 3.5-point favorites. Over-unders 51.5, by the way. So you have them covering.
Yep.
Cool. What about you?
I think I'm going to lower the score a little bit here to prevent myself from getting too far behind, right? But 31 Chiefs, 24 Saints.
Cool. And I'm already gonna lose, so screw it. I'm gonna go 38-34 for this. I think it's gonna be high scoring. For some reason, we are I just feel like they're gonna put up a bunch of points, and it's gonna be a shootout game where our defenses probably both just don't play that well.
Yeah.
But I'm not very good at this, so I'm probably wrong. Anyways, but yeah, Isaac, that wraps things up. Do you have any closing comments or anything?
Well, as far as Chiefs go, I think it's just so cool that we're kind of having it in neutral and we're still doing well enough to keep winning. You know what I mean? We only lost one. And every single week, we're getting the other team's best. Everyone wants to knock off the champs. Everyone wants to knock off the best team in the league. We are now the best team in the league. And so I would not say we're playing our best even close because I do think that we're bored.
Yeah.
But we're still pulling out the victories while getting the other team's best. So I think when it comes down to it and we have to play for actual real chips around the table, we're in the playoffs and whatnot, or we're fighting for that for sure first seed in the AFC that I think that we're going to turn it on, and it's just not going to be close. So those are my thoughts. They're making me nervous a little bit, but I know when it comes down to crunch time, we'll be fine.
I agree.
I love it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that does it for week 15 of Talkin' Chop. Whether you're listening on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple, make sure to subscribe to follow us along for the rest of the season, interviewing Kansas City's top execs and personalities. Isaac, again, thanks for being with us this week and making it out of the house. I know you got to be careful with the wife, but I appreciate that. And congrats to you guys. Best of luck moving forward with everything at the end of the year and to 2021 as well. But we'll catch y'all next week. And as always,
Go Chiefs.